casting duo, and I would agree. Yes, I think Tundra was expected to be good, but not just 2-0ing VP in pretty dominant fashion. Good, as they'll of course await the winner here, but both these teams will be attending TI. Probably the last time we're going to see them play. And VP, I think, maybe with a bit more to prove. PSG.LGD, they're just kind of having fun. Zhao 8's playing Spearbreaker mid like whenever he can, so definitely having fun when we see them on the webcams. But going off what the panel said, I agree. I kind of like Wisp as this. Have we seen them play Wisp actually this tournament yet, Cap? I don't think so.
I don't think so. I don't think they were one of the. No. Jin Q definitely played IO sometime this tournament. I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, he played yesterday, Cap. I was testing it.
Yes. Yeah. My natural inclination was just to agree with you, and then I remembered, wait a minute, I'm casting with Kyle. Never agree with him. It's never a good idea.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. The Night Stalker 5 is something that Fada pretty much innovated by himself, and it'll be interesting to see how. I believe it's actually the same support duo that VP used yesterday, the Lion and the Wyvern, and the Night Stalker of Fada was very instrumental in getting onto the back line, AoE silencing, and taking them down. So be curious to see if VP adjust or adapt.
Yeah, and I'm also interested to see how Zhao 8's going to be doing mid against GPK, just because, it's GPK Lina. Okay, that's not quite supposed to happen, but I guess it did start with a tri-lane, so not only pick up on Faith Beyond, and they're going to do a bunch of damage on Y as he attempts to pull the creep wave behind the tower. Look at this nice body blocking by Kingslayer. He's just not letting him go. Oh, that was beautiful. Finally, he gets free, but the damage is already done. Actually, in fact, enough damage, they can actually get a second kill out of this lane. Now, Faith Beyond, he wants to be able to keep the tower, the creeps out of the tower range, but that's not going to happen. The two supports aren't going to let him have that. And finally, he's going to be able to get some CS, but it already starts with 2 denies. Jesus, Kingslayer and Save. They're just monsters in this top lane already.
That's a sick decision to start with the tri-lane. And Viper, you can even see from Faith Beyond's items, starting with 3 mangoes, this is not the lane. Like, you expect to just spam Nether Toxin, shove, do this, get the hard camp available. And instead, when you die, your whole hero is kind of predicated on applying pressure. You can't do that when you start from this far behind, and you can't do it into 3 heroes, certainly. You drop Nether Toxin, but the 2 supports run at you, shove you off the XP, and if you look, Medusa already level 3 with perfect wave control as well.
Yeah, it's gonna get real bad. I don't think Y is gonna be able to pull. I mean, he's good at tanking. Like Night Stalker starts with 5 armor, 600 health. Like, not bad, but he's so damn slow that he's just not able to get behind the tower and ever pull the creep wave at all. So this is gonna be pretty rough. Fortunately, Nether Toxin is a little bit broken when it comes to farming neutral creeps. Not as broken as it used to be though, as that damage actually got heavily nerfed.
Yeah, it was pretty silly. You just kept Nether Toxin level 1 for the entire game. You go 4-1-4 and it still clears stacks for you. Significantly nerfed.
Yeah, that's I know that because that's a mid laner that I can play because it's very brain dead.
It's very good for my old fingers. I was looking at some of the commentary about Zhao 8, who's obviously getting some love for his plays, and I see a lot of parallels between myself and Zhao 8. We don't do so well in the laning phase.
Sure, yeah.
But if you can get us to 10 minutes, we start to utilize that experience. Maybe Zhao 8 a bit better than me, but
yeah, only a little bit, Kyle. Only a little bit. Don't undersell yourself, as once again they're going to chase down Y as he was trying to go for some creep pulling, but as you can see, it's not going to happen. What is the trade-off though? Is DM having an okay time solo in the off lane? Not too bad. 12-0 compared to the 18-5 of Ame. It's an IO lane, so naturally they're a little bit more defensive. So Tide, he's going to be okay here.
Yeah, I love the build too. No points Gush, just got 2 points in the damage block by level 3. And yeah, it's a Wisp and a Sven, right? These heroes don't offer much threat to Tidehunter. If DM wants to pull creep waves, like Wisp is just tickling him. So I think it's a really heads-up decision. Something, it's surprising we haven't seen more tri-lanes, right? It's just like the scene as a whole decided to be honorable and just always 2 versus 2, even if it would be more advantageous to occasionally place both your supports in a safe lane.
Where are you watching?
Do you feel like some of that is just what you've practiced, what you know? You just kind of like go with what you know and what you've practiced for this meta, and just you don't try and change things up too much?
A bit. It's also, you know, it's approaching like TI time, right? I feel like that's always the tournament where people will put a lot more thought. It's, I think, also a bit of why like Tundra has done so well this tournament, and I think why is he dead?
Yeah, yes. He's dead again.
But if you watch Tundra, like even in their, you know, pre-0 minute plays, like they're making moves for vision for First Bloods, and they're really game planning this, like even pre-laning stage part of the game, and I think it's a big part of why they just effectively come out of every lane with a lead.
Nice rotation. Might just be able to catch Zhao 8, and it does. GPK, thanks to a rotation from Save, is going to be able to get a big kill and finally cementing a full hold on this lane. He's 36-9, and now, thanks to that gank, managing to get a one-on-two kill. 5-0 for Virtus.pro. They are off to a hot start here for this laning phase.
Yeah, they're feeling themselves, and this is like kind of the dream. You know, VP's lineup is something that you really can't fight into. It's PSG.LGD that we're supposed to be aggressive, right? They want to end this laning phase early, buy space for Ame, and then roam around the map with the Zhao Pango. And right now, VP, you can't really fight into them once they get all of their ultimates up and running. And Medusa at some point just going to rotate jungle, take stacks, has a huge level advantage up top. They'll start smacking him, but unlikely to do too much damage.
Yeah, they managed to burn him out most of his mana here, but there is going to be the Winter Wyvern coming in. He's got the Cold Embrace, but at the same time, Faith Beyond, he's got enough to be able to drop another round of Nether Toxin. Y's going to die first. Faith Beyond is going to be able to get the kill, but he'll have a exit right after as, well, they got the Medusa, they got something. Honestly, the way this laning phase goes, it's probably not bad trade 2 for 1 because you're so low level on LGD.
Yeah, and I think Nightstalker did die, so full XP going to the Viper.
Yeah,
it's quite nice. Yeah, I didn't really see that one coming, gotta say. Just I don't know if if for Nightfall did either, because you just don't expect that. It's like, okay, I guess I'll take that trade. But Ame, you know, it is Wisp Sven at the end of the day. This gives Sven the needed mobility and a little bit of a farming buffer. And theoretically, you hit 6 on Wisp pretty quickly. He's approaching 5, so maybe 8-9 minutes into the game, we'll see that first reload potential. And it's pretty formidable if like a Pango shows up and then the reload comes in.
Yeah, for sure. The panel seemed pretty confident, though, that Virtus.pro was well set up to deal with the IO, most notably probably the Winter Wyvern. It's always hard to play IO against that hero. Do you feel like they've got enough answers that they don't have to worry about late game timing too much, or is this going to be a game where Virtus.pro does kind of need to snowball the way they're doing and try and close out this game, or close out the map at least a little bit quicker?
Hard to say. I don't think you're on a clock necessarily. I think you just have to be sure you're taking fights with decent vision. They're going to find... Yeah, this is going to be a kill.
It certainly is, and Faith Beyond, he's going to leave that kill for Zhao 8, and he's going to scout a little bit further into the jungle, trying to find any stacks he could take. After all, he's got that second level of Nether Toxin, which is still worse than the old level 1 Nether Toxin, but he's going to try and take what he can. Unfortunately, Medusa is already kind of on his way and farming through the jungle.
Yep. But yeah, VP, their team fight's quite solid, and running into them is not something that's going to work out. It's going to be about vision control, specifically using the Night Stalker. Kevin did a really nice breakdown of how Tundra did it yesterday, and I think that's the man to watch. Yeah, you'll need the cover of darkness, but if you look at the VP lineup, the Tidehunter and the Medusa, they're going to have to act as buffers, and they want to absorb the damage as the PSG.LGD team fight begins. And if instead you're able to find a support, you know, yesterday VP was running, it was Wyvern, Omni, and Lion Omni, and they would end up just dying at the start of each fight. And that's what LGD has to do.
Certain that was going to be a simple support pickoff and turned against him. Fortunately, he doesn't quite die as Virtus.pro being a little bit skittish running into the Viper. Makes sense at this point in time, especially as you said, with the potential of the IO relocate just about to be online as Jin-Q is just trying to collect that last bit of experience needed bottom lane.
Yep, just 9 minutes in. He's going to have a mech finish soon as well. That is a huge timing. Still, I think one of the... It's a very underutilized item nowadays, and obviously a hero like Wisp will almost always pick it up, but 275 health is significant, especially considering that there's really nothing that is going to reduce any sort of healing early on in the game. AA, of course, falling out of the meta as well.
Dire's top tower is under attack. Dire are scanning.
I remember like the old days of
Generally.
Dota. You just saw mech rushes every game and go push.
Yeah, I'm never a fan of Chen really coming back into the meta because that's what he inevitably turns into. Zhao 8, he's going to miss. That's a washbuckle. Little piggy. It's going to run a bit faster to try and get away from this gank, but as soon as they hit him with another stun, Faith Beyond can drop the Nether Toxin, breaking the Tidehunter, doing a good amount of damage. DM is going to hold on to the Ravage, it seems, as he's got not enough backup. Saved by himself is enough to go for it.
Yeah, VP, without supports, level 6, you don't really have the ability to get in here. And that's the kind of fight you kind of dream of. 3 heroes just chasing down your Tidehunter with Ravage available, but there's just no one who can respond. You would need GPK and probably both supports, but right now, VP, you're going to bleed a core here and there, but you're getting farm on your Dusa. GPK is scaling. He does have bots complete, now with an Invis Rune hunting bottom, but we'll just farm the wave instead.
With how defensive and proactive Virtus.pro supports are being in their positioning and play style in this game, I feel like Zhao 8's going to have a hard time finding a place in this game, right? The way he played that Spirit Breaker, he himself said it. He was like, yeah, once I started playing more like a 4 position, things felt a lot better. And I feel like that is just naturally Zhao 8's inclination in the first place, right? Like former offlaner anyway.
Yep.
Like he wants to just kind of like run around, make moves. And so far, it hasn't been too great as they might be able to get this Winter Wyvern kill in the top lane and prevent him from getting some extra experience. It's gonna take a bit though. As bottom lane, DM is gonna run headlong into Faith Beyond, and that is a much more important kill. As barely managed to get off the Ravage. They're gonna turn around and blow up Faith Beyond real quick. It's gonna cost the Tidehunter his life, but so far, the trade-off is worth it. Save's gonna be chased down by Wise. He cleaned up that Winter Wyvern, is now here to play. A 3rd kill for LGD as they managed to find kills on both sides of the side lanes. That was really nice for them.
Dude, I'm telling you, this Night Stalker 5 is some serious business. Like, he just solo killed the Wyvern, and I don't know of like any other hero. You can't fly away from him. The clear vision. It's just such an insane hero. Like, he's 1 in 4, but still feels incredibly solid. But darkness on cooldown.
Last time Winter Wyvern was really big in the meta, I remember Clockwork being a hero. Even though you can fly out of cogs, it was just so important to get vision of the Winter Wyvern behind the tier 1 tower. Because he would just do that sort of ratting thing and pick up free experience and free gold with Winter Blast. So Night Stalker is just a much better version of that. Is why he just kind of walks his way in with a crippling fear. The Winter's Curse is nicely laid out, but Zhao 8's looking to be able to interfere with the Rolling Thunder. Running forward, DM is looking to be able to slow down Faith Beyond long enough for the rest of the team to join in. Zhao 8 still causing some havoc in the back line, and it looks like both him and Y may have attempted to cause too much of a distraction as Virtus.pro turns their eye on the captains and coaches and bring them down, and now to claim a tier 1 tower as well.
Not bad. I mean, they just stood strong. A little early on the Deuce ulti, but does force PSG.LGD away. Still an even game. Ame, yeah, you checked it out. Most last hits at 12 minutes, but this is the downside of tri-laning safe lane, right? You secure your Deuces game. Faith Beyond took a lot of pressure, but, it meant that Jin-Q on the Wisp, he can go stack. Ame gets every CS, and probably one of, if not the best carry in Dota at the moment, so not surprising that he is setting records, even as, here we are on our final day. Went for the mask, yeah, blink, okay. I like this, because now you've got the blink on Zhao 8 as well. You're going to have Night Stalker running forwards. Yep, there it is.
Just anything to start a good fight for the IO relocate, and then Viper just wants people just to sit still, right? Because he's got 3 levels of Nether Toxin, so if anything that can just control up a hero, Xiao Wei doesn't need to do much damage in this game, right? He could just leave it to the Sven and the Viper.
Exactly. And this is kind of the dream, right? Your goal of VP's one big weakness is that if you can bypass the beef at the front of their draft and get onto the support duo and the Lina, like, they're going to get blown up. So it's going to be all about aggression, and look for DM to really be the key here. Him and Kingslayer need to have combo break potential utilizing their ultimates so that you can prevent Ame from just hopping on top of some support and two-shotting them with God Strength available.
That is a farming relocate. I know they killed a hero, but to be honest, that's just more farm for Ame more than anything. I guess it does keep the Lion away from the Blink Dagger for a bit longer. But Ame, he knows he's going to have to hard carry this game and is going to go for third item BKB. That's going to be, I think, their big window, right?
Yeah, I would say so. There's nothing you can really do to control him on the side of VP. Sure, curse, but there's no real physical damage on PSG.LGD with the exception of the Sven. Oh, they get another Toxic
lead
time.
off, see if they can chain up the Tidehunter, and thanks to the break of the Viper, it's pretty easy to do so. These TPs are going to have to be canceled, and that leaves GPK in a sticky spot. And a dark spot is, the Winter's Curse from Kingslayer is going to be able to bail him out, turns around.
What?
Goes for the Lakota Blade, he missed the timing. Oh, no.
What?
He was really hoping for that fast kill on a Xiao Wei, but he must have been just a half second off. That is rough.
Was his stun on cooldown? Like...
I think he canceled the LSA because he was casting it too early. I'm pretty sure that's what I saw.
Huh. Well, either way, that was a very odd move. And this is the danger of the Tidehunter in this game, is that you're playing against one of the only heroes in Dota that has this break mechanic. So if you get stunned in Nether Toxin, you just die. And that's exactly what happens here. The Nether Toxin goes down, there's 0 procs, the Kraken Shell, and suddenly VP, yeah, they were ready for this, but you can't TP back in. But I want to see what happens here with GPK, because he had stun, and he just...
Yeah, he went for the pump fake right there, and then, oopsies. Yikes.
Yeah. Well done by Ame, though, to avoid the curse, and then that blink through just secures his triple kill.
Yep, Jin Q keeping everybody healthy. LGD, considering the start that they had for this game, man, LGD has actually impressed twice now to me, in just having a really rough 5 minutes and just breaking down the game and understanding where they need to move people, right? The fact that they give IO some solo lanes at bottom, the fact that Xiao Wei just commits to roaming around the map rather than trying to farm anywhere. Faith Beyond, again, being shut out of the game, but still finds a way to be able to find some farm. I think it's just so impressive that LGD is able to do that in the moment, right? From our perspective, you can always just look top down at the map and calmly say, okay, you should go farm jungle or something like that. But in the moment, it feels oppressive and awful, and it feels like your game is just over. And Faith Beyond seems to never succumb to that kind of panic.
Yeah. No, it's he has a lot of similarities with Zai, I feel, where they're often given the short end of the stick, and we used to call the off lane the suicide lane, and they kind of accept that role at times, but never, to your point, they don't lose focus, right? They get the most out of their game, and I think that's something you kind of have to learn through competitive experience, because you think about playing, some typical matchmaking, you always feel like you have to win the game for your team. It's a different kind of player who can accept, look, I'm going to have a bad game, but I'll try to make it the best that I possibly can.
Yeah. A move up top. They spotted GPK behind the tower thanks to this nice aggressive ward placed out by Y, but it seems like they want to move to the other side of the map. Now, a free double damage may actually disregard that entirely and just go straight to Roshan.
Yeah, they do have the Pango, so decent timing. And the Fey Grenade, arguably, I think, the best item for a Sven, especially one ahead of the game this.
Do you know that it doesn't use up Enchant Totem on Earthshaker?
Mm-hmm. It's it's not. The thing is, this is the one downside of the way neutral items are awarded. You can't really pick Core Earthshaker in the hopes that you win the coin flip and get this item.
Yeah. Yep. Yes, we're gonna have a short pause. We're gonna watch DM and his little piggy play.
Oh my God, Suns fans not even here yet. His influence.
I assume you guys were having a lot of fun with the pig's bowl.
It's the Suns fan special. This is his favorite part of the game. Now I notice it every time that I see this item used. I think, oh, that's a special event. Good to see.
What? Explain.
He's just all about the pig pole.
Okay.
There is no explanation, Cap.
All right. Well, I'm sure there is one, but you're not giving it to me, so I'm just going to look at items, and that's going to be a Scotty for Medusa, which is very soon online, and that's a good way to be able to counter both the IO and the Sven. But the problem's going to be is I don't think they know anything about this free Roshan with Ame. Ooh, he is wailing away on that thing with a double damage God Strength.
This is a free Rosh. They're not going to have the time, and Naha is somewhere very angry. Maybe they make it here, but the DD ensures they finish in time.
And look at why. Got himself up here on the cliff, was just anticipating any sort of smoke movement, and was looking to be able to break that. Virtus.pro don't even get that close in the first place.
How did he get up there? Do you have a Tumblr story? Yeah, okay.
He does.
A
yes.
DIY Force Staff, 7 minutes into the game. Talk about a fantastic item.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Yep. And if the smoke did break on him, he'd be ready to just pop Dark Ascension, fly right down, and maybe stall long enough for the Sven to finish up the Roshan. But again, he got a double damage, so none of that was really needed.
Zhao's just in. Okay.
Yeah, he is. DM. Gonna try and be a little piggy. Get away to market, but is unable to get out of the grasp of Zhao 8. It just does not feel good to play Tidehunter against this combo. You cannot play that same kind of front line that you normally want to. And somebody, I think, on Virtus.pro has got to get him a Force Staff. They've got to get him out of this Nether Toxin. This is just awful.
I was about to say the same. Like, this just feels bad. Oh, hang on, GPK. No God Strength, so just a little poke. But yeah, I don't actually know what DM's supposed to do. Like, he just dies there. Like, Faith Beyond leisurely arrives like 10 seconds after Zhao 8 starts fighting him. You just can't do anything. You can't stop the Pango. Oh, hang on. Good TP. Oh, the reload.
Countering it, the LSA, well-timed. Zhao 8 is going to jump forward and catch up to save, and they're going to get that kill. But GPK, the important hero, does manage to get out alive. That is going to be a relocate used and perhaps a timing for Virtus.pro to do something. But then I remember they still have the Aegis on Sven. So it feels like PSG.LGD are going to be the ones in the driver's seat for some time to come.
Yeah, I mean, dude, this Night Stalker, just so much impact. Like, yeah, uses darkness. Maybe it'll be slightly squandered, but look at the vision control. A huge ward deep in the dire side of the map, and now he'll likely look to place one more? Nope, just TP's away.
Dire's bottom tower.
Good spot DM there, so PSG.LGD node back away from top, especially with darkness fading.
Yeah, don't want to fight during daytime. But, the Dusa theoretically does beat Sven. It's much easier to kite him as the game progresses. The Scotty certainly assists, but Ame right now has that item edge, 2.5k net worth, but more importantly, his squad just has more ability to jump. And end of the day, Nightfall, you can't go toe-to-toe with the Sven, and I'm concerned right now for the VP peel potential, because this Wyvern, he's in fear for his life, like all game. He's going to be ran at by the Night Stalker, by Zhao 8 on the Pangolier, and if they can take him out first, PSG.LGD just kill everybody. Like, they just run through. You need the combo break from VP. These long fights. Get a Stone Gaze off.
Yeah, I mean, there's a reason that they're not going Force Staff like we talked about to save the Tidehunter. They're valuing their own lives, and perhaps that's for the best of the team fight a little bit more. The Glimmer Cape and Blink Daggers instead. Like, they're feeling like their initiation is more important than being able to bail out this Tidehunter, which does in some ways mean a lot of the times they're just going to be playing 4 versus 5.
Yeah. VP, they're going to have to acquire some jump of their own. But it is difficult because, again, the Night Stalker factor, the Wisp, you're always going to have this vision advantage on PSG.LGD. It's just going to be harder for VP to find the right fights and initiate properly.
GPK revealing himself here on the side, throwing out some spells. Don't really want to go on Ame, I'd imagine. Sure enough, they're going to start backing away. But Xiao, oh, he caught him with the basher. Now the Rolling Thunder is going to be there. Winter's Curse does go out, and Xiao gets destroyed by Ame. And that is enough of a window for DM to be able to blink away. So very nice save from Kingslayer. And you could see why he's putting his own Blink Dagger ahead of a Force Staff. This Winter's Curse could certainly change the game and change every fight. Yeah, to the favor of Virtus.pro.
Yeah, this is the key hero, and you've just witnessed why, right? Like, Pangolier ultimate only really counterable by this one spell in this game from VP, and the benefit of Ame being nearby means it just turns into a kill on the mid instead of a kill on your own offlaner. That's why he receives the tip. Maybe a bit of a miscue. Ame could have waited a little bit longer.
Thank you, production. Oh no, the damage stalls out. It doesn't count ally damage. Oh. You could see even just that short span of time, 1,500 damage, quite a hefty amount to be laying down. There is going to be the problem of just the BKB on Sven. Just means that the targets, there's going to become too many targets, right? You want to stop the Rolling Thunder. You also want to be able to stop a BKB Sven, and you also want to kill the IO. And those are all 3 different Winter's Curse targets. So jump it. Ooh, nice idea from Save. Just gets behind this tier 2 tower before LGD could actually set up. And now defending this tier 2 becomes a difficult and perhaps impossible task. Virtus.pro will take it.
And it's a relatively even, I mean, it is an even game. And the butterfly timing for Nightfall is going to be huge. You don't really want to buy MKB on Sven. Wanted to say, I haven't seen too many Svens go for the double initiating tools, both the Silver Edge now complete to go with the Blink Dagger. So his damage output, going Satanic next, there's no Daedalus, so it's not the raw right-click damage, which I somewhat expected. I think it was it Skeeter? It might have actually been Ame going the Bloodthorn, which I think is the ideal item on a Sven against Dusa, because you remove the butterfly as this huge threat.
I did like that idea. I remember seeing that orc, and I was like, "Oh, that's a really cool one." Do you think that? What is it about the Silver Edge? Do you feel like it's he just values initiation that much? Do you think it's a second source of break? Like, what is the tipping factor for him going Silver Edge?
I guess just he could solo kill the Tide now, right? And follow Y, perhaps get an opening on a support too. It is a good tool because if you have the vision advantage, being able to blink in out of invis is guaranteed.
They're going to be able to jump on a Medusa here. They're going to quickly break her. They have Xiao to be able to keep a chain stun while the silence is staying onto the Winter Wyvern. Might fall very close to dying, but DM gets there just in time for the Ravage. Ame, though, beautiful time with the BKB, is able to keep up, just destroys GPK, finishes off Nightfall, and now looks to be able to chase down DM as well. Xiao will provide the slow for Ame to catch up and very likely get this kill. There is nothing Virtus.pro can do about this rampaging Sven.
That was incredible. Like, exactly what they wanted. Sven jumps immediately for the Dusa. Meanwhile, the rest of the squad ensures Wyvern unable to cast a spell. Like, that's perfect initiation from PSG.LGD. All set up in a way that ward that Y placed like 5 minutes ago, still on the high ground, just enough time to ensure they got that great jump. And if you're playing with both darkness and a deep ward, there's just no way VP, like, how can you prepare for this? You had no idea what was coming until they were already on top of you. That's a Rex.
Yeah, it's definitely a Rax, and what was a pretty even game, and it could have been more perhaps, but Virtus.pro do have their outer towers in the side lane still up, so PSG.LGD is going to back away. Virtus.pro didn't have any buybacks to stop that, as we're going to watch that initiation again. You could see why getting on top of Kingslayer just at a crucial point, forcing out the Winter's Curse, not allowing him to get off a Cold Embrace, and then Ame. Just beautiful timing there on the BKB. Back inside the game, though, they're going to be able to find the opening here as they jump in to try and save Ame. GPK laid out all that damage, and it wasn't good enough, and now he's going to die for it.
I'm shocked he went for the Silver Edge build himself.
Yeah, it's like the natural buildup of Chrysalis, I'm sure, feels nice. Faith Beyond is not really where you want to be, my friend. They may have won that fight in being able to kill GPK, but
they're afraid. Oh they're so afraid.
They're so scared. Save, he's going to go back in and he's saying, guys, we have to get this kill. If we don't get this kill, then we might as well call it GG. We got to take what opportunities are presented to us. They spot Ame, but DM unable to prevent the blink away. Look at PSG.LGD, full on split mode. These guys have gotten really good this tournament rather, of just controlling the map.
Yeah, and it's something to watch. Like if you're an aspiring Dota pro, like this is beautiful to see. You're losing a hero. If you can't help him or save him, do your job and acquire map control, right?
Yeah.
As Faith Beyond's dying, PSG.LGD are pushing 3 lanes. And think about what that's now done to VP. You had this window where, you know, this Viper's dead, but they're all in base. They're actually just all back in their base, and it just feels bad because PSG.LGD, even though they're not really looking for a team fight, they still have all this map control. The entire dire top jungle was just cleared. There's just nothing left for you.
Max efficiency from PSG.LGD, and hell, even Wyan pushing out the bottom lane was able to get a Heaven's Halberd. So continuing now, just countering the supports as well as Nightfall with a disarm. So PSG.LGD, their tools more and more in the toolbox, and Virtus.pro, it's just so important for them to get the right kind of initiation here. They see a double damage.
They want this DD. They have a great ward as well. Like, you won't get better vision than this at nighttime. The DD to boot. They really want to fight, but PSG.LGD, they just disappear. Go back to the area of the map you're sure that you have control over. Roshan up as well.
It's one of those things you could just kind of feel. You know Virtus.pro has got to be making some moves. Nobody's showing in the side lanes. You know that they're in a tough spot right now. And Nightfall showing that there's double damage. Faith Beyond just preemptively dropping some Nether Toxin to try and slow down the push. Double damage is going to wear out pretty soon, so we'll see PSG.LGD likely try and take a fight as it wears out. You could see Ame kind of setting up. It's nighttime as well for a few more seconds. This time it's Virtus.pro who are going to dance away into the night. Ame's chasing, though. He's not going to let this go. They're going to turn around and catch him inside of the Silver Edge. Now, here comes the Night Stalker to try and slow things out. Ame, he's going to need some help, and that's going to be Jin Q. Pop of the relocate. They do have Y just going in immediately, and he is going to be caught in the flock. But Ame is back into it, though. DM does manage to get a really nice Ravage to be able to slow down Ame. Ame going to go for the Silver Edge away. The relocate out again. Doesn't actually grab the Sven, but it does mean that LGD are going to have to leave their 2 initiating heroes behind, both Y and Zhao 8. We're doing a good job getting into the mix of things. If it's ever a bad fight, though, they are always the sacrificial lambs.
Yeah, great job. It's all about the vision, Cap. Like, that fight, that's PSG.LGD running into a high ground ward already placed by VP. They drop the sentry, they snipe the Sven, and they force defensive abilities. Ame is the sole real source of damage for his team. So if you apply so much pressure early on, the Stone Gaze, like the threat of the Ravage, like, yeah, like, Y is supposed to be doing this. He did his job. He found the Wyvern, but there's no damage. That comes out late. There's no big KP on the Sven, so the Ravage is now perfectly timed, and all of a sudden, you're just in trouble. And it all comes down to vision, controlling the high ground. Really nice by VP, but Ame also probably did need to do that a little too aggressive, but that is, you know, pushing your limits, right? That's what you gotta do as a carry. And just one final point, the Medusa has the Elven Tunic in addition to the Butterfly, so 46% evasion right now, and there's no MKB on Sven. There's no source of accuracy, no Bloodthorn, so if they try to go for Dusa like they did in that fight at the tier 2, the Ancient camp way before, I don't know if that works anymore. Sven misses half his hits.
Try to get aggressive again. I'm not sure why, because they do have an Aegis on Nightfall. Fortunately, there wasn't enough heroes on Virtus.pro to be able to catch him as he was so far out, but you could see Nightfall, he feels very confident in Virtus.pro's position. They should be, right? Daytime and Aegis, this is like the dream opportunity for them to be able to even out this lane of barracks.
And the evasion is huge. Like, yeah, there's a Rax. Yeah, PSG.LGD still have a slight gold lead, but this is anybody's game. And you could even argue VP slightly favored here, like 60-40, because Dusa, at a point, is just stronger than Sven, and he's still in spitting distance net worth-wise.
What do you make of him completing out that Swift Blink then, rather than trying to get that that Orchid build up as fast as possible? Oh, DM! Awkward positioning here. Now there is going to be the Cold Embrace, and Save does manage to get the Hex. Xiao Wei is going to catch Save as he tries to get away, but the Winner's Curse is going to go out there. Xiao Wei did manage to roll up, though. It's going to be a lot of damage coming in. Xiao Wei, he's not going to be able to survive through it, but neither is Save. He's immediately buys back and TPs back into this, and they do have Nightfall to contend with. He's slowing down Ame with the Scotty. GPK is going to catch up eventually. All the slows in the world. GPK, Jin Q comes back in. B and Keel is they're going to turn back into DM, but the Cold Embrace, it's too hard for them to be able to deal with. Sven just cannot put out any damage, and slowly but surely, oh, come on. That Ravage was just a tentacle shy of being able to catch Ame. Instead, Faith Beyond is potentially going to get run down by Nightfall. Not quite good enough. GPK in the back lines did manage to finish up Y and is going to quickly join the rest of his team for this push onto high ground.
It's huge. 5-on-3, no Ravage, but you don't necessarily need it. There's no God Strength anymore.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Hey, he's just running for creep waves. Ame, like, the build, he's very durable. You saw him survive throughout, tanking almost every ability from the side of VP, but there just wasn't enough damage.
Yep.
And
no, we're definitely seeing the timing that you were talking about earlier on in the game, and that Medusa does eventually turn into a really good hero versus Sven, being able to kite him, and LGD, they were the ones who needed to be able to take the advantage that they took. Unfortunately, Virtus.pro has just gotten too good at finding the right fights.
Yep. And you can see it's all the Wyvern, though, right? Because the goal was to kill DM right off the bat, but there's a Cold Embrace, and suddenly you got to be cautious. Again, a sick curse onto the Pango near his Sven during ultimate. So GPK just finished. Like, Xiao Wei has 0 impact in that team fight, and later on you kill Ame. Oh, the Invis.
Oh, no. Oh, GPK. Those quick fingers of him just got him out alive. The Winter's Curse is going to stall the BKB Sven, and his BKB is now worn out. DM has looked to be able to slow him down with the Gus. Xiao Wei running interference, bouncing off the wall. GPK turning around, trying to get out of this sticky situation, but the Cold Embrace again. And now Nightfall's here with the Stone Gaze with the Scotties. Ame, he needs to get out. Jin Q, he's got a ticket out of here for the moment. The rest of LGD going to try and retreat where they can. Xiao Wei does manage to at least all in and kill both GPK and Kingslayer. Buyback coming out from the Winter Wyvern, and maybe this is the fight that LGD, with their reset of the relocate out, they're going to be able to bring down Nightfall. They got him once, and they probably got him twice.
Yeah, of course. Meanwhile, Wise just chasing away the supports all by himself. This is 100% dead Medusa. Might take a little while.
He's going to actually go for... Oh, my God.
What?
He read
What?
There's no stuns. Look at their lineup. They've got no stuns.
Oh, my God. No.
He's like, Ame's like, oh, you use Stormhammer, so what's left?
How many hits was that, though, with no bash? That's rolling the dice right there. Oh,
yeah,
man.
It really is.
That fight should be so much worse for VP, but they made some pretty critical mistakes, to be honest. And yeah, I guess they swashbuckled overlap. So how many hits with no bash? 1, 2,
he's missing as
3.
well, right?
That's a good point, yeah. 4 attacks, let's say half landed, and he just missed the roll. Anyway, GPK, he just stands in melee range, right? If he doesn't let Ame get off those satanic attacks, he's not going to heal, and you're likely going to find that kill. And Save, when he went for that secondary initiation, he hexed the Sven instead of saving any disable for the relocate. So Jinkyu with a really nice play to ensure his carry survives, but just a little uncharacteristic from VP. They give Ame a bit of a gift. And a slight lead now still for PSG.LGD. 1 Rax. There's the Bloodthorn we were waiting for. What item did he replace? Sanjin Yasha, I think? No, he never had that. Echo Saber. Yeah. But it's now where we see a bit of a shift, right? Because for the time being, Medusa was just unkillable because of all the evasion stacking, whereas now Ame has that answer.
Do you think that changes the nature of how they can take fights? Like, can they actually all in Nightfall now, or do they still have to catch like GPK like they did last fight?
I think you can, just because if Pango and Sven are both on top, the disarm proc that renders Medusa somewhat useless, well, completely useless. Oh, hang on.
Nightfall's pretty far forward here. The Winter's Curse is going to be laying out, but it's going to be a short one with Zhao Wei stalling Kingslayer. They really want this Winter Wyvern dead. Missed the roll. The Cold Embrace does go off, saving the Winter Wyvern for a small moment here, but eventually they're going to catch back up. Zhao Wei continues to stay on to Nightfall. They're also going for DM, who's broken right now, to catch up to him and bring him down. Nightfall is going to be able to get out, as is Save with the Blink and GPK with the Invis, so they're okay. But once again, LGD finding gifted, in a way, the right kind of initiation. I mean, Nightfall was pretty far out by himself.
Yeah. That was really nice BKB discipline, though, from Ame, because if he gets cursed while his BKB is running, that is very bad for PSG.LGD, because now they know, look, we can just kite a bit. That Stone Gaze usage is suddenly a very good thing, because you'll trade that for the Sven BKB. You'll still have Ravage. You still have follow-up initiation from your Lion and your Lina. But if he holds it and then looks to go onto the Tidehunter as he did, you put DM in a position where all he can do is run away. And again, VP, they lose a bit, but not too much. But it's certainly getting scary for them because of this late-game vision advantage that you get with your Night Stalker. Now with the gem as well.
All right, Kyle, you're safe. You're sitting there. You're watching chaos happening right now for Virtus.pro. Tell me, like, okay, guys, this is how we're going to structure the next team fight, because I feel like we've gotten dramatically different outcomes just based off of the initiation. So how does Virtus.pro want to set up for a fight?
It really starts with vision. And if you look around the map right now, there's 0 wards placed from VP. So it's continuing to control the map, continuing to try and get... Oh, okay, just kidding. What you want to do is get a DD to spawn top, and then you run in as 5.
Well, that's what LGD wants to do, and they're going to be able to find that as Zhao Wei. He's going to be able to get on top of Nightfall immediately. Look at that mana just get taken out. The Winter's Curse is going to go down, but it's already too late. The Bloodthorn has already done its work. Kingslayer is going to be left behind as the rest of Virtus.pro try and retreat, but it may be too much, Kyle. This double damage has just put a nail in the coffin, potentially. They're going to go for the Ravage, but again, the Bloodthorn, it's just the last bit of damage required to kill the cores. They have buybacks, but they do not have Nightfall. Both of these lineups are so dependent on their hard carry, and PSG.LGD winning 3 fights in a row like that may have just got an opening to close out the game.
That is okay. Well,
there it is.
Wow. That
ended in
just
a hurry,
happened.
Kyle. Jesus.
It took them, like, the decision making though, right? Dota, yeah, it's a game of strategy and preparation, but it's also just about these split-second decisions. And you could see the team of PSG.LGD